Happy Monday, everybody. It's the REKAP Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuff, and we are back. We are back after a really good weekend, long weekend, a lot going on, both personally and within our sports and within this town. Guff back at you here, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. Go to originalhooters.com for more. What's up, everybody? The chat is already on fire, coming in hot. We got all kinds of stuff. We have the Cubs, of course, making news. The White Sox playing all of a sudden better. 3 out of 4 they've taken. But we're going to talk about Shota, etc. Let's get into it. Becky with I hope Shota is okay. The Cubs very impressively took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee over the weekend, and 10-0 on Friday night was a laugher from the start. But they lose Shota Imanaga last night to a hamstring injury. It appears that he will be missing time, according to Jesse Rogers and others. A 4-2 road trip is what I will take. Yes, Becky, across the board. So 4-2 is fine. 4-2 is good, especially against your division. How are the Cubs equipped to withstand another injury to do their starting pitching? Now, let's be honest. This is not the loss of Justin Steele, but Justin Steele and now Shota, if he's going to miss, let's say, a couple of starts, are they equipped? I think they're equipped in the short term. You have a Chris Flexen type. Cade Horton is going to be monitored. They're going to make sure he's really good to go. But I could see a situation where he could be up. Eric, good afternoon. Great 6-game road trip for the Cubs. Hopefully Shota is okay, gets healed up. I would say bring Flexen up. He's already obviously up, coming out of the bullpen, obviously, so far. But I would expect him to be into the rotation. Keep Horton in Iowa for now unless something really happens. And Eric and Becky agree with each other. And, dude, what about PCA? What a monster this guy continues to be. If he keeps playing this way, he does. We could talk about potential MVP candidate. It's still early, a lot of baseball left to be played. It is early, but I will say right now, in Fangraphs, he is third in baseball in WAR, according to Fangraphs. Third. He's 50-1 right now to win MVP. Now, do I think he's going to win MVP? No, I don't. Okay, I don't think he's going to win MVP. I think Kyle Tucker has a better shot, and he's like 3-1 right now. But he was 80-1 last week, and if you're feeling like you want to throw a $20 flyer out there to try to win $1,000 down the line, can PCA keep this up the whole year? We'll see. But he has been some kind of special. And that grand slam by Michael Busch, no doubt. Do you think they'll DFA Turner by the All-Star break? They signed Justin Turner for veteran leadership, et cetera. Now, I know he hasn't done anything. He's at $167 in limited time. I don't think they're going to try to DFA a guy. He's got a 443 OPS. We're still at May 5th here, folks. Okay. There's still value in Justin Turner. Now let's All-Star break is still 2+ months away. Let's pump the brakes. Clyde, Shota needs to get and stay healthy. No doubt about that. Josh, this week is going to be tough without him. Giants today and tomorrow. Wednesday, then we face a Mets team, which is playing lights out. While playing well isn't like hitting insanely well, that'll be a tough series too. Yeah, this kind of ends the entire I was going to pull this up. This run this week kind of puts a bow on what's been an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. So the Cubs have the Giants for a random 3-game home series. Then they go on the road for the weekend. Then they come back for a homestand. After this week, the Cubs go 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the White Sox, 3 at the Marlins. They do have the Reds twice, but they have the Rockies. The Marlins, the White Sox, and the Rockies are 12 of their games coming up. Landon says the White Sox closer, Mother Nature's 2 for 2 in save opportunities. That's hilarious, actually. Mother Nature. The White Sox have 2 wins this season that have been called after 7. That is a great call. Jordan says the Cubs bring back up Jordan Wicks. He was terrible when he first got here. But they have depth. That's the good thing. Javier Assad, of course, on the 60-day IL. He won't be a part of it. This, folks, they're going to trade for a starting pitcher, okay? At least one. I expect it to be a big name by the deadline. They have enough firepower right now and enough bullets in the rotation to withstand this stretch? I just gave you the schedule that's coming up. I think they do. I think they do. But at some point, they're going to have to make a move. And everybody's like, what about Sandy Alcantara, who's pitching tonight against the Dodgers? He has an ERA north of 8 right now. So, like, the Marlins are hoping he gets figured out so they can make a trade for a much bigger package than it's looking right now, because he has an ERA north of 8. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Guff. In the short term for the Cubs without Shota is okay. Long term, definitely not, since you already lost Steele. Yeah, well said. And I think the Cubs are aware of that, and everybody knows that. Hopefully, Shota is able to miss a couple of starts and get back in the rotation and not miss a beat. Hopefully. What you don't want to see is any type of setback. Eli, hi there. And 1 for the White Sox in May. Oh, 3-1 for the White Sox in May. Robert leads the league in stolen bases. Do you think Robert's traded by Memorial Day? He brings up Memorial Day because Bob Nightingale of USA Today said that if the White Sox, if Robert continues to play like the current stretch he's on, which, by the way, he's still hitting under 200 and leads the majors in stolen bases. So if he can actually take off, his last 8 games, he's hitting like 357. Okay. He has a stretch. I wanted to read this from our Chris Withers, my guy, the producer of White Sox baseball for CHSN. I'll read you this stat just so you guys can understand how well the guy is playing right now. Some historical context to what Luis Robert Jr. has done over his last 8 games. Here's what he's done. Hits in 7 of the 8, a 345 batting average, 3 homers, 9 RBI, 8 stolen bases. First player in White Sox history with 3 homers and 8 stolen bases in an 8-game span. The 6th player in American League history with 3 homers and 8 stolen bases in an 8-game span. That list: Ty Cobb, Don Baylor, Ricky Henderson, Carl Crawford, Mike Trout. That's pretty damn good. That is about as good as it gets. So if he can stay hot, yeah, I'd like to package him. And I know how we feel, but folks, you need to continue to add pieces with any type of talent you have. And Luis Robert is not going to be here long term. This is why you need to get pitching in the offseason and another starter. But Becky, hang on for a second. People get injured. Okay. Look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers right now, I saw an insane stat about the Dodgers. Everybody, like, you have tunnel vision when it comes to what's going on your team. What you're not watching at the same time is what's going on around baseball. And I'm trying to pull up the stat that I saw. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if it's going to be. No. The Dodgers, I'm trying to find it, but I can't. I don't know where I saw it. The Dodgers have 13 pitchers on the IL. 13 pitchers on the IL, and most of them are starters too. Snell's on the IL. I'm missing another big name. On the IL. Oh, Glasnow, IL. Guys, there are other problems. And by the way, Max Muncy's not cutting it at third base for the Dodgers. They have a huge hole right now at third base. So they're waiting for guys to get hot too. But there's other teams that have big problems. Lip says if the Sox keep this up, they'll call them fun but bad. I agree. I'm okay with fun but bad. Fun but bad means that you've turned the corner in the rebuild, and Chase Mydroth and Edgar Caro doing what they're doing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff, Lip, to your point. Here, right now, in batting average, we'd have to look at batting average. Edgar Caro's hitting 340 and Chase Mydroth hitting 275. Edgar Caro has an 850 OPS, a 446 on base percentage, and Chase Mydroth has a 408 on base percentage. The guys near the top, Chase Mydroth has 9 walks, 6 strikeouts. Edgar Caro, 7 walks, 5 strikeouts. That's the kind of stuff. PCA needs to go to the All-Star game. You keep seeing this type of play, Becky, and with the Cub fans being voters that they are, I could see that happening. Here comes Godfather. Thank you, Tom Riggins, for not signing a top-of-the-rotation guy in the winter. But don't worry, we are still under the luxury tax. I'm just telling you guys, the Dodgers did sign pitching, okay? And they're not getting it because guys are on the IL. Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns was that guy. He's 1-1 with a 3.58 for the Diamondbacks. But I'm just telling you, I think the Cubs have a big chance to make a major splash at the trade deadline or near leading up to it. Eli, it was crazy that Robert saved the grand slam and then hands for RBIs. Bring up Tim Elko already. What are you waiting for? Elko named White Sox minor league player of the month over the weekend. Luis Robert, you're bringing up Sean Burke. What an outstanding game on Thursday. Sean Burke walks the bases loaded. A ball's hit deep off the bat of Rhys Hoskins. And Luis Robert goes up and over the wall to save a grand slam. And after that, the White Sox, Burke put it on autopilot, never walked another batter, and the White Sox won 8-0. Dan says, go Sox as always. Lip. Also, we need the lottery balls once more to bounce in the Hawks' favor tonight. First time they were doing the NHL draft lottery live. I know. Seems like they were missing a beat there. To Lip's point, yeah, the NHL draft lottery is tonight. The Blackhawks, second worst record in hockey. The Sharks, of course, did it again. Can the Blackhawks jump the script and get to the number one pick overall once again to add another big piece to this rebuild? I'll tell you what, after watching Game 7s the last two nights, what happened yesterday in Winnipeg against the Blues, it just makes me, it's by far the best playoff going. NHL is by far the best. It also makes me incredibly envious that we don't have it. Incredibly envious that we don't have playoff hockey. Even if our team was seeded 8th. Shota, yeah, Clyde, you said it already for sure. Good afternoon to the real Phil Simms. Tough news on Shota. Time for Jed to make moves. They're a good team that's ready to go on a run. Don't half-step Jed and Carter. Agreed. But I'm just for sake of argument here, how many times do we see teams make trades in May, the first week? Very few. Chef Paul. I spent time with Chef Paul on Saturday at an establishment for a fundraiser for his beautiful daughter. And I'll tell you right now, we had a blast. Maybe too much fun. But I did hit the trifecta in the Kentucky Derby, so you got to brag when you cash a ticket. It basically covered my bets for the day. It was great. Anytime you cash the exactor or the try at the Derby, favorites, no favorites, etc., it's a really, really good day. It was a decent payout. I think it paid $230, $231. But most importantly, the crowd was great. My wife was with me. So anytime Mrs. Guff's on board, it's a big, big win. Chef, you know I love you. Eli, the Cubs need a third baseman. You trade for Josh Rojas for the White Sox. I mean, Josh Rojas literally made his debut this weekend. Now we're trying to trade him. Let's get Josh Rojas playing baseball games. I think Matt Shaw is going to be back, folks. Like, we've written Matt Shaw off so as if he's not going to be part of the plan. What if he comes up and figures it out? I mean, Matt Shaw, I'm kind of the point where I'm ready to see him. He has an 828 OPS down in Iowa, hitting 277 with a 424 on base. He has a homer, 11 walks, 5 Ks. I mean, to me, that's probably your immediate help. Clyde, you're off work. Enjoy the day. NHL Draft Lottery at 6. Looking forward to seeing where the Hawks pick, says Kyle, our resident hockey guy. I'd pick the best defenseman, as you already have a cornucopia. Anytime you can use the word cornucopia in the show, it's a big day. Could they trade Wicks for pitching at the deadline? Hey, Becky, who wants Jordan Wicks? Like, Jordan Wicks is not going to bring you back a frontline starter. You're going to have to dip into the top 100 prospect pool, period. Guff, give us your White Sox starting infield in 2026. Tim Elko, Chase Mydroth, Colson Montgomery, and probably Miguel Vargas, because Miguel Vargas has figured some things out right now with his hands. And from an offensive standpoint, he looks like he's actually figuring it out. That'd be fun, by the way, and getting closer to Braden Montgomery playing every day in right field, because that guy continues to rake. He's at high A doing the same thing. Tom Ricketts is holding this team back. He proved it in the winter. Hey, Godfather, like, here's where I'm at. And you know I love you, brother. But, you're complaining to me like a team that is Baltimore, that had no pitching, never went and got pitching, and now is one of the worst pitching teams in baseball in 7 games under 500. Okay? That's how that you sound like that. You're one of the best teams in baseball. You are. You're one of the best teams in baseball. Okay? That's just a fact. The Cubs have you got to look at that NL West, obviously. Everybody, 22-13, 22 teams that are 20, or you have 22-11, 23-11, 21-14 Cubs, 22-13 Mets. You got the Tigers at 22-13. You're one of the best teams in baseball. They're going to make moves. I promise you that. Nice to see you're not ignoring me today, right, McGuffey? What are the odds the Blackhawks get the number one pick today? Who is the can't miss prospect in the NHL? That part, there's a couple of names out there. They're all young kids. That's the thing about the lottery. I'll give you the Blackhawks odds for number one pick. The Blackhawks, everybody's got this. Oh, Blackhawks have a 13.5% chance. The San Jose Sharks have a 25.5. Blackhawks 13.5% chance. Pretty good. Second best odds for second worst record. Phil, Arenado would look really good at third base. Don't think that bringing in Shaw is the move. I don't understand how we can write off Matt Shaw that quick personally, but I don't know also if the St. Louis Cardinals are ready to do business with the Cubs. Now, if the Cubs offer you the best package, I think it's stupid that you wouldn't do business. But, these teams sometimes on this whole, you got to pay a tax crap. I don't know. I don't know about that. Guess what? The weather tomorrow starts to change in Chicago. The Big Derby mugs, the beer specials, the Big Daddy mugs full of summer shandy, Dos Equis, and Blue Moon. And look at this. They got a new drink, the Hooters Paloma, the May drink of the month, with Teremana Blanco, fresh lime juice, simple syrup, and Fever Tree sparkling grapefruit. You got to look at this damn thing. It looks gorgeous. I'm going to put it on the show. I'm going to download the image and put it on the show. Just the color alone tells me we're drinking the good stuff now because it's May. The Paloma is the drink of the month at our fine friends at Hooters. Go to originalhooters.com to find the location nearest you. There's 11 of them in Chicagoland. The tacos, I'm telling you, tacos are underrated. The wings are the best. Tacos are underrated. The mahi tacos, $14.99. Shrimp tacos, $9.99. Tender tacos, $10.99. You guys know I like the sweet and the heat, the mango habanero, and how the Guffs finish things off from the top rope. The cinnamon pretzel bites are the best. And if you want to order to pick up, to go, order.hooters.com. They'll get you squared away, and you'll be able to go on your way with the best food in the area, our partners at Hooters, one of 11 Chicagoland locations. Jay, is there an under-the-radar prospect the White Sox have that no one is talking about? Perez on Winston-Salem looks good. They have quite a few. I mean, we're hearing so much about the guys that, like Elko. We always talk about Elko, obviously. But if you look at the White Sox top prospect list, it's kind of funny to me because Elko is not even in the White Sox top 30 prospects. He's 26, and I don't know. I think they just wrote him like Shane Smith is 25th on the White Sox prospect list, and that guy looks like a complete dude as a starting pitcher. Wilfred Veras is a guy I always think, like, I feel like he was always going to be a guy that's a dude. He's hitting just 215 down in Birmingham right now. There's a couple of guys that are not going to be on your top prospect list. Like even like a guy like Brian Ramos. Now he can't stay healthy. Okay. But he's down in Charlotte and he's hitting $178. There's guys out there that are going to do it. It's not always going to be Schultz, Teal, Smith, Montgomery, Carroll. Edgar Carroll, by the way, hit 6 on that list and Mydroth 8th. Those guys are saving the Chicago White Sox right now. A lot of comments pouring in here, guys. Awesome, outstanding. One horse away from the trifecta. Hitting Sandman was the horse who just never made the move. Yeah, I had the 3 horse in that trifecta, hoping it would find a way because it was like at 33-1. Could they trade Brujan? Yes, but again, Becky, you're not getting a big time player for the Cubs spare parts. That's just not how it works. Alcantara's been getting rocks. I'm a little cautious on him. That's why I was saying earlier to start the show. They have he has an 8.6 ERA. If he doesn't figure it out, they may have to focus elsewhere. I know a lot of teams are looking at Pablo Lopez of the Twins. The Twins they're up the track. They're not going to win this year. Pablo Lopez in the second year of a 4-year deal that pays just over $70 million. Swayze, Robert Jr. finally starting to play his way out of Chicago. Great timing. Here's the big board for defensemen in the draft. Matt Schaefer in the field. Kyle's been lockstep on Matt Schaefer for weeks. Best second options are Jackson Smith, Redeem. I can't even say it. Murka, but not as polished as Schaefer. Look at that report, by the way. Jess, what's going on? Hate to see Shota get injured. The bright side is that it's May and the schedule is more favorable for the Cubs this month, but that strain looks painful on TV. Feel better soon. Shota. Lip. I think Chase will be a career 300 hitter. I wish I could clone at least 5 of them. I like him because he just is a player the White Sox have not had for like a decade. A dude who grinds at bats, solid second baseman, and just 400. I don't even care if he hits 300. If that OBP is in the 400s or high 390s, all day long. Godfather always has a stone cold stunner waiting for Ricketts. Defenseman. All right, Clyde, you're saying that Kyle spelled defenseman wrong, but in hockey sense, Clyde, you're wrong. That's how you spell it in hockey. Well done. Excuse me. Becky with the Go OKC Thunder tonight. We know why. Becky over there in Oklahoma. Clyde, you can't get mad when people give it back to you, man. You call them out. I don't try to even put it out on the show as much, but come on, man. With the Giants and Mets looming this week, I would go flexing given his experience. However, with Miami and the White Sox after that, it becomes the perfect spot to give Cade Horton a shot. No doubt about it. Let me look at Cade Horton real quick and see what his latest couple of starts have looked like, because he was walking a ton of dudes, and I think walks are still a thing for him, but maybe not at the rate that they were earlier this year. Cade Horton, 2-1 with a 1.24. Oh, baby, a whip of 0.86. Let's get this guy up here. Here's his game logs of late. Game logs for Cade Horton. So he pitched yesterday, 6 innings, 1 earned, just 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. The start before that, 6 innings, 1 earned, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And then the one before that, 4 2/3, no runs, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. I think we're seeing a theme here. Cade Horton looks like he's settling in. Kurt, how long can the Cubs wait to deal for a starter or another actual good reliever? Well, it takes 2 to tango. And very few times ever, Kurt, do you see teams willing to deal pitching at this early in the stages of the season. Some are trying to figure out who they are, but more importantly, with injuries and stuff, you're trying to make sure you have enough. You probably have to overpay to make a deal or to get a deal done this early. That's just going to how it's that is literally how it's going to be. So we'll see. I do think the Cubs may move earlier than normal. I don't expect the trade to come personally before Memorial Day. I'd be very surprised. Guff, did you sport the Aviators after winning the trifecta? Glad you had a great time. I did have the Aviators with me. I don't have them today. The bet of the day has won 4 straight, folks. We're on a heater. Bet of the day has won 4 in a row, and then I hit the trifecta in the Derby. Let's ride. I know you, my guy Pablo is going to be so pissed that I don't have the Aviators, but I know. My head's on a swivel. Sherm, how about Ben Brown on Friday? Yeah, to those who been complaining about Ben Brown was nails on Friday. Got a big lead. Sometimes young pitchers with big leads, they're pitching with such a big of a lead that they can't get in a rhythm. Well, he was dialed in, and that was it. How did Winnipeg win that series? Couldn't win on the road. Their goaltender played like crap. How about they were down 2 goals with 2 minutes last night, and they tied the game with 1.6 and win it in overtime. That building sounded like the roof was going to blow off. What an absolute awesome game. Horrific if you're St. Louis. Terry, nobody's going to deal for a frontline guy in May unless you way overpay. So, yeah, Terry doubling down on what I just said. In the winter, Hoyer said everyone has to play above expectations. Well, except for Tucker, they are. Hoyer and Ricketts are lucky so far. The rotation has not been very lucky. They had lost their 2 top guys to injuries. Hope Shota's back by the 23rd against the Reds. It would be great to have him back in the lineup, especially since the Reds are only 3 games back. A couple of more here. We got a bet of the day to get to. 6 innings of 1-run ball in each of his last 2 starts, 2 walks, 10 Ks in 12 innings. And Ben Brown was nails because he used a changeup more than any point of his career. He needs to be more than just a fastball curve pitcher. The changeup is his key to success. And to see that happen at the big league level, Dustin tells me he's making the next step as a pitcher. Well, you just heard me say it. We've won 4 straight bet of the days. And I hit the trifecta at the Kentucky Derby. Folks, you ride the wave, right? You'll ride the wave. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot that I like today. The NBA's got plenty of games. The NHL's got action. There's a lot that I like. Jason Tatum, as the Knicks and Celtics open a series here, Jason Tatum has gone over 30 points in every game against the Knicks this year. I also like Porzingis because ever since being traded in 2022, the guy has absolutely destroyed the Knicks. So I like both. This season, Jason Tatum has averaged 33.5 points a game while taking at least 18 shots in every game against the Knicks. All right? That's what he's averaged. He has killed Karl Anthony Towns. He's at least 25 points in every game against the Knicks this year, and he's had a great playoffs. Jaylen Brown said the knee. I like it. And then if you look in the final 3 games against Orlando after missing game 2, he scored 36, 37, 35. I'm riding it. I'm going to go with great players and great moments in the playoffs. I'm going to try to stay hot and go Jason Tatum over 27.5 points tonight. That's where I'm at. I think Tatum and the Celtics make a statement right out of the gate as we go. Lip throwing a same-game parlay. Panthers leaves to score. Matthews and Bennett plus 550. Any good top-line wingers in free agency the Hawks should go after? We need center, says Ganja Man. Appreciate that, Clyde. There's one of the names, Mitch Marner. So there's the bet of the day, folks. You see the record. We're back up May 2-0 to start off May. Last week, 4-1. And we ended on a 4-day heater. Jason Tatum over 27.5 points. I do like Kristaps Porzingis over, depending on where you shop. I saw him at 16.5. I saw him at 17.5. There's a couple of other things I like. I think I like the Dodgers run line. They're going against Alcantara today, by the way, in Miami. That's like a minus 125. But again, I'm going just opportunity to cash some tickets. So a lot of stuff there. Going to see if we can get 5 in a row. 5 in a row with Jason Tatum. And the bet of the day, the Cubs open a big series at home against the San Francisco Giants. The White Sox at Kansas City on the road. The Royals have started to play better baseball. We will have recaps of both of those games, of course, here on the channel. We'll have the recap rush hour later on the channel as well. And we will be bringing it to you. And then tomorrow, of course, here's where I'll be. I am boarding a plane for Washington, D.C. I'm just letting you know. For the next 4 days, the show will take place out at the east, on the East Coast. So it'll be 1:30 local, 12:30 right here. I don't know where I'll be. I'm going to try to get creative in where we're doing the show, but we will be in Washington, D.C., doing the recap lunch hour brought to you by our fine folks at Hooters from out east. So don't worry. I'm going to come to you live. The place should be on tilt because they're jacked up about OV and the Caps out there who are going to be playing there, I believe, tonight and Wednesday. So that should be fun to see. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, here on the recap for everybody here at the Recap. Take care of yourselves. Have an awesome Monday, because starting tomorrow, you look at the weather, maybe we never look back. Maybe it's tomorrow, it's 70, and we never look back. I'd like to do it at the Lincoln statue, to be honest with you. I'll be there in the morning. If I can get the Wi-Fi signal, doing it at the Lincoln Monument would be Awesome. Have a great day, everybody. We will come to you live from the nation's capital tomorrow on the REKAP Lunch Hour, brought to you by Hooters. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. And let's hit that over 27.5 Jason Tatum.